Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Mountain Valley Farm. This is episode number 20, and thank you for coming back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate that very much. So today we are in a brand new game day, and it is still midsummer, and well, we still have a couple of more days of summer to go, and just kind of taking a look at things. We need to tend to our animals today, and just kind of rolling things back here. Our crops are still all in the growing state, so nothing that we can really do there, but I kind of thought that today would be a good day to go ahead and take care of our animals. So we're going to go ahead and get into our Massey here and go ahead and get started here with this. And we're going to go over here and grab a hold of our mixing wagon and pull it out. Our silage bell should be ready to go as well, hopefully. Hopefully they will be. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Such fun that I am having. I'm having a wonderful time with the Old Guy Farms single player challenge. And I wanted to point out something that it looks like, oh, it's not in there anymore. When I backed this up over here, there was a bell that was stuck inside of the mixing wagon. Not sure how it got in there, but it did, and well, that's okay. It's gone now. But anyway, I guess it maybe is just was a phenomenon. So we'll park that right there and go ahead and turn on our mixing wagon so it's running. Set our parking brake. We'll leave the tractor running, obviously, to drive the PTO. And just while we're here, we're going to go ahead and just jump over here and collect our eggs. We need to take eggs down to the sell point at some point pretty soon because, well, that's kind of how we roll. Obviously, we take care of our locals and everything. So we are, well, you know, here we are. This is our last bell of straw. As I forget to undo my parking brake, you know, I don't have the parking brake mod on the challenge map just because it just takes a little bit of extra time. But anyway, so this is our last bell of straw. As you can see, let's see, the last episode I think we mowed and belled hay, and so we got all the hay under there, and I think that'll all be fine. We'll obviously have to see if this is going to suffice for, as a matter of fact, let's look at our animals here, because this actually may not work out to our advantage. We may should probably, well, we're full up on the straw, so we'll see how this goes. You know, it's possible that we're still going to have to buy some straw, just especially if our crops if they're not ready to harvest in the next couple of game days, then yeah, we'll need to do that. There's a local farmer, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but there is a local farmer that has some straw that he will sell us, and we'll certainly buy a few bells from him. He does kind of have an 8 bell minimum as far as what he's willing to sell, but we will certainly take him up on that. And of course, we'll be getting hay bales off of our wheat and barley crops. So you might also know that the last few times we've come over here and we've looked at this bar of ivory soap, I mean this bell of silage, and it's not shown as silage, but now it is showing as silage. So we've got half a ton of silage there, and so that has fermented nicely, and I'll just spin around like this, and we'll go ahead and get this guy and get him in the mixing wagon. And so I'm curious if any of you guys are checking out my challenge, the Old Guy Farm single player challenge. I mentioned it just a second ago, and boy, those chickens are noisy. We'll get away from here shortly. I am having just a ball with the challenge. It has just been so much fun, and gotta say that at the present point in time, I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon, the 29th of July, and it'll be a little while before you guys see this video. I've still got a little bit of a stockpile of videos going, and you know, please accept my apologies, because I know I may have said after I came back from vacation, or in that time frame, I may have said something about the possibility of kind of going with more videos more frequently. I haven't made that switch yet, just simply because the challenge is really keeping me busy. And as a result, I still just don't have much time, with the exception of playing the challenge, to get everything else done. So just hang in there a little while. We're going to stick with three videos per week and just kind of see how that goes. And let's see. There we go. That was the I key after all. Watching our power food come up there. That's looking good. So we will, this is done. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. We'll drive through and try not to hit Bessie's head there as we drive around and go ahead and park our mixing wagon. So I think we may, I don't know, we may just squeak by and not have to go and buy any hay from the local farmer. That's what we're gonna try to achieve anyways. We'll see if that works out for us. And we'll go ahead and park our mixing wagon over here as that tree gets in the way and I can't tell my backing. But I will tell you that the challenge itself, it has been a humdinger of a fun challenge. We have just basically this morning broke out of winter, and of course we still have tons of snow in the ground. We'll be going into the second game day of spring here shortly, and you couldn't tell it. There's still so many layers of snow, and it's been kind of remarkable because some of the other contestants or participants like Farmer Klein and Old Guy Farmer himself, they just didn't have that much of a winter like we did. And so all right, so let's go ahead and go down and fill up our water barrel. Might as well do that. I do wish our water was as easy to get to on the challenge map as it is to get to here, because this is quite nice, quite easy to swing around and pull in here and just grab our water here from the thing. But you know, it's a challenge and that's okay. So certainly hoping that my wife and I can get down here and do a little rowboat ride and maybe have a picnic down here by the pond. That would sure be cool. And maybe spend some time with the kids before they go back to school. Of course, it is midsummer, so our kids are on break here at Mountain Valley Farm. They go to a small school down in the village, down in the town there. And let's just head over here and we'll jump out really quick and open this gate. And again, try not to run over Bessie and her pals. And we'll swing around here and come on, beep beep, move out of the way. Canola's looking good over there to the right. As I pan the camera around, of course we've got that growth line that runs through there. That's just kind of part and parcel of not really the fault of the seasons mod. I've explained that a few times. It sort of has to do with the fact that you mess with the default Giants growth system and it will give you that crop line. I think it really only occurs in year one. So if we were to play this map for 2 years, which I know I'm kind of going back and forth between we will, we won't, we will, we won't. I really don't know what we're going to do. It really depends, I think, on how far along we are with the challenge and whether or not time and work and all that kind of stuff it'll just determine. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what other available maps there are. I gotta say that I've talked to some folks in the live stream for the challenge map series, and some of those folks have suggested that I take a look at either Snetterton's, and that's Stevie's new map, which I do love me a Stevie map, and or kind of going back to Pine Cove Farm. Stevie's made some changes to Pine Cove Farm, and it might be worth checking out and taking a look at that. So I don't know. Let's see, we need some grass. We need power food. I think we're okay, but we need grass. So actually we shouldn't have got out of the tractor. We'll get back in. And what we're going to do for our grass collection is we're going to just kind of take it easy. We're about halfway, well, we're about a third of the way through this episode, I suppose, according to the timer there. And we'll just ease up to our front mower here. And I understand that we've done a whole lot of grass cutting, and that's kind of why we're going to do things just a little bit different for this episode. We're just going to basically mow and collect all at the same time with our little Pottinger Euroboss forage wagon here. And I think this will be really in our best interest to do it this way, because we can just, as I'm kind of zoomed in a little close there, let me back out here just a wee bit. All right, so I think this will actually be the best bet for us to do it this way, and I think we may also consider going around and selling some eggs as well. So let's see, maybe we went around that other direction. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go on over to the interior or the exterior circle. So we got to go around to the store in that neighborhood. We'll go over there and we'll do some mowing just around that circle until we fill this guy up here, and that'll be enough grass, because keep in mind that with the Seasons mod, grass will rot away regardless of whether it's in a forage wagon or if it's in bales or if it's laying on the ground or if it's stored elsewhere. It's going to rot away, and it's going to basically be, unuseful for us. So we're just going to basically go and fill this thing up, and that will be probably enough grass for the cows. And then we can go ahead and sell our eggs as well while we're on that side of town. So most excellent. Soybeans coming up here on these fields down here, fields 1 and 2. You might remember we've purchased these fields back from the folks that had bought the fields from grandfather, and they weren't going to do anything with them. That wasn't our initial plan. Our initial plan when we moved out here and set up shop and everything and set up the farm. Now notice we don't have those growth lines in the soybeans, but anyway, when we moved out here, we basically said that we were just going to farm the main farm area, but then we went ahead and decided to go ahead and add those 2 fields and go ahead and bring Granddad's dream sort of back home, which was obviously to get back in here and put the farm back in our family's name. So we're going to just go over here and sell our eggs right around this corner here and see how much we get. How much did we get for eggs? It didn't pop up and say. That's odd. Oh, 370. Okay. Not bad at all. We've had quite a few. I think we've only maybe sold eggs once or twice. Let's see. Still don't think we can get through there. Let's sort of get out here and step this out and see if we can get through this way. I just don't think we can. We've got this magic curtain, and the problem with the magic curtain is if you get off the boundaries of the map, the game can basically crash. We had that happen to us on Lawfolds once. We got a little bit, no, it wasn't Lawfolds, it was Lone Star. Got a little bit too far out there and the game crashed. Alright, so we're going to come out here, and we've already cut this area here, but we'll kind of stay over here where we haven't mowed and see if we can get that done. So we will go ahead and turn on our forage wagon and drop our pickup, and then change up here and unfold our front mower deck and turn that guy on and go ahead and lower this front mower deck, and let's go ahead and go to town. We don't need our flashers, our strobes anymore here. And we'll just kind of go out this way and pick up some grass that we have not mowed yet. Maybe get over here close to these trees. It doesn't have to be perfect. The county basically said, take as much of the grass as you want, and it doesn't have to be cleaned and perfect and everything. They just basically wanted it knocked down. Of course, wintertime will come along and it'll knock that grass back with the snow and everything else that I'm sure that we'll get up here in this part of the country. Now, I wanted to talk just a little bit because one of our friends to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel had watched one of my episodes a few episodes ago of Mountain Valley Farm. One of the episodes that I was attempting to try to tether the grass, and it just wasn't cooperating. We had the issues, and I sort of talked about the fact that maybe, just maybe, it might have been terrain or something like that. And she pointed out that possibly, very, very likely, it was actually the tether itself. And something, I think she's probably right, because I don't recall ever using that tether before. I usually used the larger one, the wider one, and didn't have that problem, obviously. And so yeah, I think it's that tether. And of course, it's just it's a Giants in-game version of the tether, so not a mod or anything like that you might expect to have some problems with if something like that were to occur. But anyway, so I'm gonna just kind of keep an eye on that, and of course, as we move on to other projects, other maps and such as that, then obviously that problem may just kind of go away, unless we're back on a small map or something where we kind of need to use a smaller tether. It just kind of depends. So, but as far as the map situation goes, I've still got my eye on a map that I really, really want to play. Really hoping that it sort of works out where I can bring it to you guys. But I'm not going to play it if it's not available for everyone. And at this particular point in time, it is a conversion map. It is a conversion from Farm Sim 15 to Farm Sim 17. The original map modder, or the map author, did not convert it. It was converted by another individual who is a friend at PCSG and such, and has done a remarkable job on the map itself. And he shared it with me, and he shared it with one or two others, but until the original mod author, the original developer of the original map, agrees to release it to all, most of us are not going to play the map, just simply because we don't want to necessarily play something that others cannot get access to. And that was a difficult thing for me, and I know I've talked about that. I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but I know that I have shared the fact that it was a little frustrating that I could not share the Seasons mod with everyone. We're almost full, so I think what we'll go ahead and do is just we'll lift our front mower, and we'll just kind of spin around, and I think we'll get a small percentage here as we kind of head back around. There we go. Almost full. 100%. All right. So let's go ahead and lift our front mower deck, and we'll go ahead and turn that off, fold that up, and that's done. That's up as well. All right, we'll speed back around to the entrance and head on back to the main farm. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to get over here and mow this area was because, again, we're just really planning on filling this forage wagon up and then feeding this to the cows. And obviously we're not worrying about stockpiling grass or anything like that, and that way, if we do need to cut grass more, if we just need grass for grass, we'll probably come back over here. But if we need hay again, then we've obviously got our other grass areas that are a little bit easier to get to, which we've only cut once, so those might be actually ready to cut again, maybe before the end of fall, if we feel like that we need more hay or more silage as far as that goes. So possibility for both. We've had some conversations over at PCSG regarding the validity of whether or not Giants should have sort of factored in the fact that cows eat grass that needs to be fed to them via a farmer. We've had discussions that most folks that know anything about real world farming, or at least maybe pretend to know something about real world farming, just can't think of a time that they have seen anybody basically go out and cut grass and gather that grass and feed it to livestock. Obviously, hay is dried grass, so people feed hay to livestock. But grass itself, typically, the way that a livestock consumes grass is by basically eating it from the ground, from the grass fields, or meadows, or pastures, or that pasture. That's the word I'm looking for. So, not really sure if anything can be done about it. Kind of hypothetically thinking, well, maybe Seasons Mod could do something. Maybe the Seasons Mod could basically just sort of calculate in as if, because obviously the cows are, when you look at them, they're out in the pasture grazing. Okay, so they're eating grass. That whether the Seasons Mod could basically just automatically sort of provide grass at 100%. So basically what I'm talking about here is, if we look at this area here, it would just during this, during the, say, the late spring, late or maybe even early summer through fall, it would just show as 100% grass. When obviously winter came along, it would fall back to zero, and of course their productivity would drop, but that would be natural. And then of course the farmer, us, the game player, of course, would then be responsible for feeding hay, silage, total mixed rations, etc. That way we don't have to feed grass, because again, they're in a pasture, they're eating grass. Again, most people that we talk to, or that kind of have any sort of experience around rural farms, just can't think of a time that anyone would feed just straight grass to the animals. Really? Is that all they need? Wow. Okay. So that was only just a very small pinch of grass that they needed. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go and park this. Wow, we didn't need much at all. Well, we don't have very many cows. That's the first fact. And then the second fact is that, I guess in the grand scheme of things, they don't consume as much grass that way as they do other items. And we'll just go ahead and park this under the shed here. And of course, a lot of this is going to deteriorate and rot and just basically leave our mixing wagon, or our forage wagon. So we'll probably have to do this little exercise quite possibly again before the end of winter. But I don't know. It would be interesting if Giants would consider maybe factoring in something like that, because wrong button. I think it would be interesting, because again, the whole pasture concept. That's why there's pastures, and that's why cows and sheep and stuff like that do graze. All right, well, let's see. We sold our eggs. We've mowed a little bit of grass. We tended to our animals. Those are just kind of some of the things that need to be done. We haven't done a whole lot of this kind of stuff on this map, and so I wanted to just go ahead and do that so that we could sort of demonstrate these tasks being done for the video purposes and all that good stuff. I am also, just as sort of thinking out loud here, I'm not going to make any changes with regards to this map and how we decide to play this map. We're still going to stay at sort of 5x speed, and I'm sort of fast forwarding to get rid of the sort of the dead time and stuff like that. But I am seriously thinking about, I've been talking to Farmer Klein, been talking to some of the other participants of the challenge, and I've actually been thinking about the possibility of actually sort of going with that faster gameplay. Maybe instead of 6 game days per per season that we actually do something like we might actually do something like 9 game days per season and play at 15x speed. Now, while it's a little stressful at 6 days per season, it might not be so bad at 9 days or even 12 days per season. And again, it would just kind of give us a little bit of something different to do, and we could basically almost fit like an entire game day as an episode. So it's just something I'm thinking about. I'll see how it goes. See how, if I feel like it's something that I can sustain with after we get done with the challenge map, and see if it makes sense to maybe try to do something like that here on the next future map that we play. All right, well, the last few episodes have been a bit on the long side, so I'm going to basically end this one here. When we do come back, we will be in a new game day because, we don't have anything else to really do. Our fields are fully fertilized. Our animals are our cows. That's the only animal we have. They're up to snuff on everything. We've got some hay. We've got some silage. We do need straw in the worst kind of way, but maybe our crops will be ready to harvest, and we'll take care of that. If not, then we'll go buy some straw. That's not a problem. But there's really nothing else that we could really do other than maybe repeat some of the things that we've done and go do some more mowing and stuff like that. But I don't see a reason to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode here and just thank you all so much for watching. And please come back again for the next episode, episode number 21. Like I said, that'll be on a new game day, and we'll figure out something to do that'll be fun and interesting. Or maybe I'll just skip time until we do get to the harvest, and that way we'll be able to start harvesting and showcasing some of those activities, because it's been a long time since we've done a harvest, I must admit. So thank you all again for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful summer. School's about to start again very soon, and so make sure you get everything done that you need to get done, and I will see you and speak to you on the next episode of Farm Sim here on Mountain Valley Farm, or on the Challenge map, or maybe even Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator. Take care all, and come back and see us very soon again. Bye-bye.